Do you know, there were once a group of young boys who disappeared into a cave and slept for more than 300 years, and when they woke up, the world around them was completely different. The people had changed. The city had changed. Everything was different. At that time, there was a cruel king, a ruler who forced people to worship idols, and anyone who refused was punished. But these young boys were different. While the people around them worshipped idols, they believed only in Allah. They knew the statues could not help anyone, and even though they were young, their faith was strong. But one day, the king discovered the truth. He heard that these boys refused to worship the idols, and immediately, he became furious. Orders were given, and suddenly, the boys were no longer safe. The boys knew there was no time left. If they stayed, they could be captured or even killed. So under the darkness of night, they escaped into the mountains, leaving behind their homes, their families, and everything they had ever known. They ran through the rocky paths, while soldiers searched for them below with torches. Every sound felt dangerous. Every moment felt uncertain. But even in fear, their hearts trusted Allah. And after a long journey, something appeared in the distance. A cave, hidden deep within the mountains. Exhausted, afraid, and completely alone. The boys finally entered the cave. For the first time, they were safe from the soldiers. But they still did not know what would happen next. And there, inside the darkness of the cave, they raised their hands to Allah, asking for mercy, asking for protection, asking Allah to guide them through whatever was coming. And as their voices echoed through the cave, light slowly entered from above, as if Allah Himself was surrounding them with peace.
And after making dua, the boys slowly fell asleep inside the cave. But this was no ordinary sleep. Allah caused them to sleep for years, then decades, then centuries. Outside the cave, entire generations came and went. Kings changed, cities changed, and the world moved forward while the young believers remained asleep, protected by Allah, hidden from the world.
And then, one day, the boys suddenly woke up. They looked at each other in confusion. How long had they been asleep? A few hours? A single night? They had no idea that more than 300 years had passed. Hungry and exhausted, they decided to send one of them into the city to secretly buy food. But the world outside the cave was no longer the same world they once knew. As the young boy entered the city, something felt strange. The buildings looked different. The people looked different. Even the atmosphere felt unfamiliar. And as the people noticed his ancient clothing, they began staring at him in confusion. Then the boy handed over his silver coins to buy food. The shopkeeper froze. These coins were from another time. Coins that had disappeared centuries ago. And suddenly, the entire city realized something impossible had happened. Soon, crowds of people followed the boy back toward the cave. They could hardly believe the miracle they had witnessed. And when they finally reached the cave, they saw the young believers with their own eyes. The story of the people of the cave was true. Allah had protected them across centuries. And through their story, Allah showed humanity that His promise is always true. Even after all those years, the believers remained a sign for the world.